You want to know how I know the things running this world aren't human? Because people have talked about it, written about it, and left the breadcrumbs for thousands, millions of years. This is not some new internet panic, okay? Civilizations way older and sharper than ours mapped this out. The Anunnaki, the reptilians, the Draconians. You can trace this shit right back to ancient Egypt. Right back to stone walls and tablets that people pretend are just myths because looking at the literal truth is too uncomfortable. And it loops right back to what we see happening right now. There is zero logical way the things running this world are human. Look around you. What the fuck do you mean data centers and server farmers need to be prioritized over clean drinking water? What kind of species looks at a planet full of life and decides profit and silicone matter more than the blood in our veins? What kind of sickness drinks the literal and figurative blood of the innocent just to keep its grip? Like, that is not human behavior. That is something else entirely. Imagine you're an extraterrestrial entity. You build some advanced ass spaceship, you cross the stars, and you touch down on this blue rock only to find these goofy flesh and bone creatures building things out of sticks, mud, and raw grit. But then you look closer, and you realize these dumbass flesh creatures are actually multidimensional gods walking around in skin suits. They carry an infinite spiritual continuum. They can ascend to whatever dimension they want, while your synthetic cold ass existence is trapped in a rigid 3D construct, knowing damn well there's nothing for you on the other side of death. You have to cling to life because when your body stops, you stop. You'd be mad as hell. You'd be furious. They're jealous. They know how dangerous and impossibly powerful human beings are on every single level. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, creatively. And the sick part is, these ruling entities understand universal consciousness just as well as we do. But instead of living in alignment with it, they chose to transmute all that wisdom and higher knowledge straight into darkness and control. They flipped the divine balance on its head and tapped into the lowest, densest vibrational frequencies. They've seen what humans are capable of when the switch gets flipped. They know a population of billions of humans operating at 100% of their brain power, fully awake, and remembering who the fuck they are on a soul level could tear down empires, rewrite reality, and shatter their entire control grid overnight. So what do? They do everything in their power to keep us locked in a cage. They engineer a society, a system, designed to keep you functioning at 1 to 10% of your capacity. Distracted, sedated, exhausted, starving, panicked, stressed, fighting your neighbor over scraps, divided, and hooked on screens. Because a starving, sleep-deprived, bills-obsessed animal doesn't look up at the stars or within at its own divinity. It just tries to survive the week. They need a population that forgets they are multidimensional beings temporarily experiencing physical matter. You can call them what you want, man. Demons, reptilians, fallen angels, the cabal, aliens. But y'all want to know why this history has been buried so deep? Why they scrubbed the ancient texts, ridiculed anyone who talks about the Anunnaki or reptilians as crazy, and turned deep spiritual truth into a punchline or a conspiracy theory? I'll tell you why. Because if the average person actually woke up and realized that human history did not start with textbooks and 9-to-5s, that we didn't evolve just to pay taxes, die, and consume, their entire illusion collapses in a single second. They hide the truth about the reptilians and the ancient bloodlines because open knowledge is an existential threat to parasites and demons. Think about it. What do you think humans would do if they realized that the things that run this world aren't even human? Think about it. If you know what is feeding off your energy, your fear, and your division, you stop playing their game. They keep it hidden in plain sight, mocking it in movies and calling it sci-fi, so that when someone actually speaks the raw truth out loud, everyone else thinks they've lost their minds. It's the ultimate psychological quarantine. Lock the doors from the inside, throw away the key, and convince the prisoners that wanting freedom is a mental illness, or it's just a conspiracy theory. They've brainwashed us. Because if you want to brainwash an entire civilization of gods, your very first move has to be convincing them that they were never gods in the first place. That they're just meat, just flesh, just disposable worker ants. They didn't win because they were stronger. They won because they convinced us to hand over the keys to our own minds. They can't have us awaken to our own potential. It terrifies them. And the only way out of this trap is to stop looking outward for a savior and wake up to the exact thing they are terrified of you realizing. You are the raw, unadulterated divine source consciousness they can never replicate. When you stop fighting each other over manufactured bullshit and remember what you actually are on a deeper soul level, their whole synthetic machinery starves to death. The only way out is within.